everyone, this is Fantasy-esque, and welcome back to The Sims 4 Royal Witch Kingdoms with the royal family of Hulkane. Oh my goodness, what's happening? Hold on a second. What are you doing? Okay. I thought Edna, I'm mixing the names up. I thought Vex was telling his brother off, but he's not, so that's fine. We have a few changes that you guys might have noticed in the movie portion of this episode. So, I am going to be making some changes, which you will see in tomorrow's Vampire Amazon video, that I have already made. So, for me, that is coming before, this video here. It's going to be the opposite for you guys. But, you will know, The Sims has had this really weird glitch with eyes and genetics for a long time. And usually, our method of dealing with it is to just ignore what's been going on and wait for the kids to age up into teens, then give them the proper eye colors. That also means we have to keep track of the genetics on a spreadsheet, which I've kind of been really into, not gonna lie. Anyways, I finally got annoyed with this whole system and decided that I was gonna replace the eye colors for my supernaturals. Instead of using the EA glowy eyes, I was going to find my own face paint eyes and then use them so that I can apply it across all ages, like from toddlerhood to elderhood, and not have to worry about ignoring or forgetting things until they reached a certain age. So in tomorrow's episode, you will see that I make that change across my vampires, and then I am making that change across all my witches as well. So yes, the witches have new eyes. Now, I will put the face paint eyes that I'm using in the description of this video so you guys can find it and download it, use it in your own games if you want. But just note that the exact colors I'm using are custom colors I have saved using the EA sliders. So you're going to have to figure that out yourself once you get the eyes, play it in your own game, whatnot. But there we go. That's what we have going on. Now, before we dive into, the scenario happening over here, I'm just going to quickly summarize the eye colors we have. So, I'm keeping the all black and all white because I have face paint eyes that I can apply across toddlers and children. But, along with that, we have 8 colors that look kind of different to the glowy ones we had before. So now we don't have glowy eyes per se, but we still have interesting colored eyes. So I think we've got dark blue, light blue, green, orange, yellow, red, purple, and pink. So instead of violet, we've got purple and pink. And we'll be seeing those eye colors across our different witches. Now I'm using I'm using this same face paint eyes for my vampires in my Vampire Amazon series and for the witches in this series, but I have saved different custom colors for them. So the ones you see on the witches will be different to the ones you see on the vampire, if you get what I mean. So basically, they are the same lens I'm using on both supernaturals, but I have saved different custom colors on the EA sliders for the vampires. Like, I've got 8 different ones for the vampires, and I've got 8 different ones for the witches. So anyways, there we go. That's what's happening. I hope you guys like the change that we have, but unlike the vampire video where I actually show you the vampires and the differences in all their eyes, in this one, I'm just going to let you guys see as we play and come into contact, because we have way too many witches for me to go ahead. But also, unlike the vampire one, like the Vampire Amazon, I am not changing the intro of this series, mainly because the setup I had for this intro and that intro is completely different. So it can't really go back and change. I mean, it's going to take a lot of work for me to do so at this point, because I think the original material that I used to make the intro for this series I have deleted, because I regularly delete things so that, I can make life easier and have more space. But Vampire Amazon, I have all the stuff that I use for the intro, so I can update it, whereas this one I can't really. Besides the point, but there we go. Quick, brief explanation for what's going on with the eyes. And now we can move on to the fun story portion. Actually, eyes. Let's just quickly, because eyes. Okay, as you can see, our beautiful Princess Luna has this really cool light blue eyes. So this is what the light blue eyes will look on the witches. It's actually like a blue and green mix, which I think is really, really cool. And then Vex has the pink eyes. So this is what pink is going to look. It's fairly close to the ones he had before. But there we go. Really cool pink eyes. And they're looking into each other's eyes. That's so cute. And his brother has the red eyes. So this is what the red eye looks like on the witches. Again, like I said, the vampires have different versions of these same eyes. But this is what the red eye. It's more like pink on the outside, and then it's got red on the inside, and then I think like yellowishness? Yellowish? Greenish? Yellowish, probably. But there we go. That's what we have. So the red eyes now look different. And then obviously on the High Queen and King, they will also have these eyes. So I think Leia was the one with red eyes. So you can see the red eyes over here looking a bit more distinct. And then we have the pink eyes on King Uther, who looks very sad, I will say. Very, very sad. But there we go. That's going to be the update that we have going on. Now, I will note that the red, orange for the witches, the red, orange, and yellow eyes look very similar to each other, but they're not entirely similar. They look very similar, though. It's mainly like, I think, hold on a second, I think for the red, yellow, and orange, the main difference is in that middle kind of greenish yellow portion, or you know how there's like pink and it goes into red, then it goes into yellow? Yeah, the middle bit is usually red or orange or yellow. So some of these eyes have very distinct, like very minute differences, but I kind of like the way they look a lot, actually. And then on Queen Nala, we have the dark blue eyes. So her daughter has the light blue eyes, and she's got the dark blue eyes, which kind of have a bit of purple and cyan in them as well. So that's really cool. It matches like her crown, which was unintended. I was just trying to match the genetics as close as possible with the new eyes that I had set up for them. But again, this is because I just got frustrated with having like random human eyes for the toddlers and for the children, and then having to like change them when they turn into teens. It just felt inconsistent. This way we can keep them consistent all throughout. And then Yorick, can you open your eyes? Can you open your eyes? Oh jeez, she's got these lazy eyes. I can't even see. You can barely see, but he's got the same eyes as Princess Luna. I'm fairly sure. Does he have the same eyes as Luna, or does Luna have the same eyes as her mother? No. She has the same eyes as her father. Yeah, and then she also has the same eye as her sister, her stagda, Faina. I think it's the brother that has... Is it? Or does the brother have the same... I don't even know. I don't even know, guys. Don't even know. But someone in their family, I think it's Princess Padme, who has Nala's eyes. Regardless, okay, that's a lot of eye spiel going on, but that is kind of why this episode is called Witch Eye Candy, because yes, their eyes look like eye candy, and also Vex is eye candy, and so is Luna, to be honest, and Edmund too, kind of. So here's the go with these guys. Now, the last time I feel like we saw Vex in a movie, his younger Vlaro, Tetrala Vlaro, his royal brother, Prince Edmund, was trying to get his attention, because, you know, he's the older brother that Edmund looks up to, but every time he tries to get Vex's attention, High Queen Leia always whisks him away and tells him not to disturb his brother because, you know, he's busy being High Prince and all. So finally, while the High Queen and King were together, he could sneak by to his brother and say hello to him. And then Vex essentially told him, you can come to me whenever you want, bro. I need a break from being High Prince from time to time. And Edmund took that chance to ask him how Princess Luna looks, because obviously everyone knows that they're betrothed to each other. And of course, Edmund has never seen or met, and up until this point, Princess Luna, because the entire time they had negotiations happening between the families, he was a toddler, so he wasn't privy to that. So even if he did meet it, he probably doesn't remember. And then obviously when the betrothal happened, it happened in Siccar, so, you know, him being a toddler, he did not go with them. He stayed back at the palace. And so Vex is kind of arranged for Princess Luna to visit at the palace so that his brother can meet Princess Luna finally, and I think he's really excited about that. And he's already said hello to her. Okay, he's already greeted her. But this is all very exciting for him. Because I think he has heard that the Siccar princesses are just so beautiful, so obviously he'd want to know who his beloved brother was paired up with. And oh, it looks as though they're flirting with each other and getting along. That's kind of nice. And obviously we got that he finds Luna pretty. Let's see, he wants to chat with her, so we'll definitely do that. That was kind of the reason, you know, we invited her over as well, because he did want to chat with her, so we felt this was a good opportunity to kill two birds with one stone. So this gives them the chance to talk, Prince Edmund to meet Princess Luna, and then of course we have the royals over here, the monarchs. We have them kind of solidifying their relationship as well. So there we go. Luna is materialistic. It makes sense because, you know, she's grown up in one of the richest kingdoms, and they have access to a lot of beautiful, pretty things, and that's just the way of life in Siccar, being surrounded by everything precious and material and pretty. So I can kind of see... Oh my goodness, get married to Princess Luna. Oh my goodness. Guys. He's like ready to get married to her. She's a young adult now, apparently. Really? She's a young adult? Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So we could actually get them married off because they are both young adults. Okay. Well, I mean, we also know that aging... At this point, we kind of have to ignore the aging just a little bit because it is a little bit... It got screwed up because, again, of a glitch that The Sims had. And so because everyone was aging up really quickly, remember the time when everyone became elders? I had to turn aging to normal and then freeze it so that people wouldn't age like crazy. But when I jumped over to this household, I put aging on again. So that's probably why Luna has aged up since then. But you know what? Since they both are young adults, I could totally, we could get them married off at some point. I think maybe that's one of the discussions that Vex is wanting to have with Luna over here. He's wanting to solidify this relationship and get them married. Maybe that's the talks that these guys are having. Maybe that's why the family came over, so that they could kind of speak about how the wedding was going to go. And that's very exciting. So actually, maybe that can be something that we do in the next episode. We can take this episode to kind of ease into the family and adjust to, you know, them and their future and make some preparations, hang out with our Sims, and then maybe next episode we can have the wedding between Vex and Luna. And that's probably going to be the first wedding then that we have. The first ever wedding. We've had betrothals, but this is like the first wedding, which is huge and amazing, and so exciting. But there we go. There we go. Edmund, why don't you come by here? I mean, I know it's warm, but why don't you do a respectful introduction to Queen Nala, and Yorick's over there. So just do an introduction to Nala. There we go. He's proper as well. Edmund is proper, so he loves, you know, formal events, and I think everything about being a royal, the rules, he just enjoys it so much. And I feel like that maybe that's a little bit different to Vex. I mean, Vex's personality, you know, he's gloomy, he's a dog lover, he's paranoid. So I do foresee him wanting a wolf in the future. He'll have to figure out how to acquire one. I do see him wanting a wolf, but I think because with him, like, he grew up seeing his father, his Tetrala Kotyan, be taken away from his studies and, you know, his personal time, his pursuits, because he was always at High Queen Leia's beck and call. And, you know, she loved parading Uther around, but she guarded him very jealously. So his father led a very trapped life. And Vex, when he was young at one time, even helped his father escape to the tavern, or to the inn, where they spent like a night before they were found and called back to the palace. So he grew up seeing how miserable his father was sometimes. And he's always understood that a cage life is not the best life. But he's tried his best to make both his parents proud, and he has worked hard, and I feel part of that is to lessen the burden on his father by being the proper son. But obviously for Edmund, and because of that I think he carries a lot of sadness, mainly for his Kotyan, but for Edmund it's different. Edmund's grown up not seeing his father struggle, he's grown up seeing how just amazing his brother looks. He looks up to his Vlaro a lot, and he loves seeing his Vlaro in, like, you know, proper regalia and everything. He loves it when his Vlaro is all formal. He loves it when people say good things about his Vlaro, when everyone's saying that Vex and Luna have the best match of the generation. Edmund loves all of that because he looks up to his brother so much, and hearing all of this just validates what an amazing witch his brother is, and he wants to be exactly like that. And he associates a lot of it with the lifestyle they lead, and with, you know, all the rules in place to make you that perfect royal witch. So yeah, he's growing up very different to Vex, and he definitely looks up to Vex in that regard. So that's really cool. Give you a respectful introduction to High King Yorick. That is important. I feel like we should do that. So there we go. This is exciting. I was totally not expecting to have a wedding in the next episode. I thought, you know what, we're probably just going to jump around the households a bit more. We still have some betrothals lined up. But you know what? They're ready. They are prepped. They can have they're of age. They can get married. So I think that's what we're going to do. But essentially, I've talked about this before, but the marriage is going to be different. Like, the marriage ceremony is going to be very different to the way that we've had the betrothals, which the betrothals have been same across all the kingdoms, but the marriage ceremonies are going to be different. Like, the weddings are going to be different across the three kingdoms. Each kingdom has its own custom for how this marriage ceremony happens, which is why it needs to happen in a movie. Because, you know, we don't have the interactions and stuff to make it happen. So I will not be going through a typical, like, sim wedding with the arches and, you know, the vows and those kind of things. We'll be doing different customs for each of the kingdoms, which will be unique to them. And that's, I guess we're starting off with Holkane. So I, you know, need to go and find stuff, resources to make that happen. And I need to decide on how, like, what kind of custom I want for them. But I think that's going to be very exciting. As for whether we are going to wait for them to, like, have children, or if they're going to get started, we don't actually have to wait. As long as we have room in the household, they can get started if they want. I mean, this family is very, very small. Maybe some of the other families would have to wait until, you know, the Lord and Lady pass away. But the royal family of Holkane, they are very small. Once Luna moves in, we'll have 5 Sims. Even if they get a wolf, we will have, like, then we'll have 6 Sims. We'll still have room for 2 more Sims. So, you know, with his brother still here, Vex, once he marries Luna, they could still have, like, 2 children. Oh, what's going on here? Also, the royals have been going through some fears right now. It feels like it has been forever since Queen Leia has been romantic with a partner. It could be paranoia, it could be anxiety, or a gut feeling, but Queen Leia can't help but wonder what a partner is up to or who they're seeing behind her back. Okay, she's being suspicious. But both of them, they have some fears going on. So, they both fear death, and then King Uther is afraid of the dark, so he kind of has trouble sleeping. And now it seems High Queen Leia has a fear of being cheated on. So my goodness, she wants to make out with King Uther. Of course she does. And then Uther wants to become enemies with Lord Eric. I mean, hasn't he always disliked Eric? Where is Eric? Where is Eric? Yeah, I think, yeah, he's always disliked Eric. From the get-go, and he doesn't like Amatrice either. He really just doesn't like the Holdigans. The Queen, I think, she's forgiven the Holdigans, but that's because they were forced into, like, submission. And, you know, as the actual ruler of Holcane, she needs to have a good relationship with the lords and ladies in her service. But, obviously, the king does not have to do that. He does not actually, you know, rule anything or help manage the kingdom. He is just the High Queen's marriage partner. So he kind of enjoys, or he's supposed to be enjoying the luxuries of royal life without any of the responsibilities per se. Responsibilities are mainly on Leia's head. I feel like some spouses make an effort to share the responsibilities, others don't. Uther's never really been interested in that, of course, whereas we know that Nala is, and she tries to run things behind Yorick's back and pull the strings, but there we go. I'm like so excited now. I am so excited because I was not expecting a wedding, but now we have one. I suppose all that remains... Actually, I think we would probably have the wedding at the palace. I think I would prefer to have the wedding at the palace. Now, am I going to have the wedding like outside? Or am I going to have like make a special chamber for the wedding? Depends. I have not decided just yet. I mean, we could make a special chamber for the wedding. Kind of like... We could, or I could have the wedding. I kind of want it at the residence, though. I could have a special chamber for the wedding. That might be the appropriate way to go about it. I don't know if I'm going to have it outside, like outdoors, if I'm going to have the wedding underground, like make an indoor chamber or something. It depends, I suppose, what kind, like what the customs are, like, involved. But this is going to be exciting. You know why? Because the whole reason I started the series was because I wanted to pair up my witch babies and get them married off to each other. So I am really excited for that. Really excited. But I think for Uther, I'm wondering like why now he would want to become enemies with Eric if he has a low opinion of him. You know, it's probably because after Eric has betrothed his son to Calypso, who's known to be sickly, I feel like Uther's opinion of him has dropped even more so because everyone knows, you know, the Citadelles, they have poor blood. They're a poor mix because the kids are unhealthy. I mean, obviously not all of them are, just the heir, but still, everyone considers that family sickly, and so Uther, I think, has decided that they shouldn't mingle, they shouldn't mix with the Holdigans, and he is now going to, like, declare Eric and the House of Holdigan as his enemy. And obviously, because the Queen's not the one declaring that, the family, like, we can't say that the royal family now has a feud with the Holdigans. If the Queen wanted to declare him, I feel like if the heads of two houses declared each other enemies, then the houses become feuding houses. But that isn't the case because Uther is like the ruler's spouse, not the ruler himself. So, you know, he has a grudge against them, but his family members may choose to follow or not to follow. So that'll be interesting. Vex, we already know, he's not fond. He probably will follow his father's footsteps because he's not fond of the he's not fond of the Holdigans very much so. Not at all. And oh my goodness, Padme has aged up. She needs a makeover. We probably have a bunch of kids that just aged up because I put the aging on, and I did put it on because Edmund has to grow up, even though he has quite a few days. So, oh my goodness, let me go. And I'm sad now because Padme literally aged up into a child like not that long ago, and now she's a teen already. My goodness, I suppose there's certain sacrifices we must make. But I will head off. I need to give some makeovers and update some Sims, and then we shall resume and see what we can do with these guys. Might get a head start on that enemy ship, and then also give Leia and Uther some alone time, but also because they, they're old now and they're having fears of dying, I feel like is probably the right time to get Vex, prepare him for his wedding so that we do have someone to take over should the inevitable occur. So I'll see you guys in a bit. It's 12 p.m. on Wednesday. King Uther is bolting out of the bedroom. Why? Because he's freaking out. He and Leia have been so terrified of just everything. They're terrified of dying, they're terrified of being cheated on, and what else? Of the dark. There we go. So they have been super, super paranoid at everything. But anyways, Luna has gone back to Sikaar with her family members after they have discussed the wedding arrangements to be done. And we have some food prepped. So we're going to grab a serving. We're going to eat up. And Prince Edmund has gone off to Academy. When he returns, Vex does want to cloud gaze with his brother, which I think is really cool. I feel like he might start sneaking off to spend more time with his younger Vlaro now that he's about to get married, because I feel like once Luna moves into the household, maybe Queen Leia will be less kind of intense with Vex and his duties. She'll be satisfied with him, so I think he'll have a little bit more freedom to kind of spend time with his family members and do what he wants. So I think he definitely wants to start doing that a bit more. And he probably didn't realize before that, Nalka has been keeping Edmund away, which is why he and Edmund don't get to spend too much time together. But now that he knows, he probably wants to make more effort, because if Leia's telling Edmund not to disturb his royal brother, then Edmund probably, will be more likely to listen to his mother than to his brother. So we've got that. Now the queen, she wants to make out with King Uther, so we will definitely do that, or at least try to, as much as possible. Now, if I am not mistaken, that is a couch thing. So we're gonna sit here, get him to take a seat as well, and we definitely want to give them some romance time. So let's go do that. Let's try and give them some romance time. Let's see. There we go. I don't know why I kept forgetting that make out in The Sims 4 is like a love seat thing, and it just went over my head. Hopefully this helps a little bit with, her paranoia that Uther is looking to others, which he's never done. We all know that, if anything, is probably looking at a book, No need for you to be crazy, freaking out. You've never even allowed him to have very many friends or to be in close contact with any of the other nobles, really. So yeah, she is paranoid by nature, but they're going to be trying to do that. That's fine. She's running off. And look, he is just so scared. She gets freaked out, so she starts screaming, and then he gets freaked out at her screaming. It's a whole bunch of crazy things. But he did want to become enemies with Lord Eric, so I feel as though he is going to summon Eric to the castle. He's definitely going to summon Eric to the castle. So we don't have a summoning group, unfortunately, and I don't think they're friends enough to show up. Maybe the queen can invite Eric. maybe the queen can invite Eric, and then King Uther can absolutely rip into him. Because Eric, there's no way he's coming if the king's inviting him. He knows that the king does not like him one bit. So we'll definitely do that. For some reason, the queen does not like Underglow too much. For some flippin' reason. Okay, here he comes, strutting on in. And obviously, Uther is going to tear into him. Actually, before we do that, I feel like it's only reasonable for High Queen Leia to invite him in, because she was the one who summoned him to the palace. So she's gonna do her bit, her duty, and oh, look at how she's looking at this, the little kind of consummation, jeez, accessory that was hung after she consummated her marriage with King Uther. And that is so cute, because her son will be getting married soon, and he is a royal, so he's going to have to follow through with the same ritual. He and his future wife, they will also go through, their consummation. They'll put this up once that has taken place. So she's looking at that because she's thinking about their marriage, I bet. Has he been welcomed in? Has he been welcomed in? I think he has. Well, okay. Uther is going to now tear into him, of course. So let's insult him. Let's go do it. Uther just wants to give Eric a piece of his mind. He feels that Eric is scum of the earth, that Eric is demeaning the nobility of Holkane by marrying sickness into their bloodline, and therefore tainting the bloodline of Holkane's nobility. So he's gonna express how much he disapproves of Eric's decision to do that. And also, I think they would know that the Holdigans have been offering for, they offered for Luna, they offered for, who else was it? They offered for Valena, they got rejected, and then they went for Calypso. And I think also Uther is probably really disliking Eric, or being annoyed at Eric for trying to make a match above his station. Like, how dare he make an offer for Princess Luna? Who does he think he is? Oh my goodness. Let's see. They're gonna fight. They're gonna fight in the royal chambers, of course. And then I think, with the queen inviting him over, he's kind of marched up straight into the royal chambers. And then I think for Uther, it's also kind of like, how dare you come into the queen's private chambers? How dare you? And so that is what's going on here. Is the queen getting angry at him? I mean, she wants to hug him, so there's that happening. Let's see. Yep, they are. Now, Eric's insulting him. Eric, not wise. You have made the king angry. Not wise at all. Let's chew him out. I suppose they can't really fight here, but we're going to really chew him out. Yep. The king is not going to let this go. He's had enough. Yep, they despise each other. He has had enough. He's going to declare Eric his enemy. There we go. He is declaring Eric his enemy in Elderhood. He just cannot put up with it. And I feel as though he also probably wants to make it very clear to his son that the Holdigans are not the kind of people you want to mix with. Absolutely not. Especially since his standing is improving by marrying another royal family, or having, another royal family marry into the Holkanes. You do not follow the example of Eric. And then he's going to promptly kick Eric out. So, we are enemies. We are enemies for some reason. Oh no, there we go. It registered a bit late. So there's that. We are now enemies with Eric. I feel bad for him. He's like stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, there was no one else to make an offer for. So he did what he could. He did the best. All the good houses rejected him. So he had to do something. Oh my goodness. And obviously he doesn't know it, but even Helicent, who was the child that is paired up with his son, Eldrick, she doesn't even want kids. So, you know, that's going to be something that's difficult. Not only is the Siddeley bloodline considered sickly, but now the only Siddeley that has managed to get a match, she has plans other than procreating, which is one of the big things that these witches look for in, you know, their matches. It is done essentially for the purpose of children. So, yeah, not too happy. None too happy. But now that we have Edmund back, even though he might be a little bit tired, I think it would be good for Vex to try and cloud gaze with him before the sun goes down. So let's get these two to cloud gaze together. I think that would be very, very sweet. So come on, let's try and do some cloud gazing, and then once they've done with that, I think Edmund can do his homework. Anything that I received from Witch Academy can go do that. And the Queen, it appears, did not... See, look, she got jealous. She got flippin' jealous. Because King Uther was declaring Eric as his enemy. Like, she does not want Uther to spend his emotions, positive or negative, on anyone other than herself. And even in the movie, we kind of saw that she was reflecting on the fact that they're elders now, like their whole life has gone by with each other, and she's so happy to have him with it, and should have it no other way, but obviously Uther didn't look too happy. You know, I mean, for her, it's been great, but for him, he's been trapped in the palace his whole life. And he gave himself to Leia because he thought he could handle her attention and her passion, and he could pursue knowledge the way he wanted to, but obviously it was more difficult than that in practice when she was controlling like everything he was doing. So there's that. Regardless, out of this union. Okay, that was very quick. I suppose there's no clouds to gaze at anymore. Apparently there's no clouds to gaze anymore, which kind of sucks, but oh well. Okay, Edmund, let's go do some homework. I'm sorry, kiddo. Actually, can we eat anything? Yes. Grab a serving and then do homework. Where's your... I swear, these kids... Before, you know, when the Sims came from school, they used to have their homework books with them. But now they just don't, and that's ridiculous. Like, they don't age up with the homework books. They don't bring it back from the academy. You have to purchase it yourself, and you have to find it and use it yourself, and they misplace it, and it's a little bit irritating, but oh well. What can you do? Nothing much. You kind of just have to work around it, like a lot of things in The Sims. But I digress. I do appreciate that I have The Sims in the first place to you know, share all these cool stories. And so there we go. You guys can eat and then do your homework, do what needs to be done, while the family prepares for Vex's wedding, which is going to be very exciting. Very, very exciting. What's their sleeping arrangement like? I mean, this downstairs room is the butler's room. And I think this is Vex's room. This has always been Vex's room. And this is Edmund's room right here. I wonder if we'd swap that around. Actually, I think maybe we'd swap it around, like give Vex this room, because just because it like looks a bit more mature, I think we would give this room to Prince Vex, and I reckon we'd move Edmund perhaps to this room. Assign this room to Edmund, since, you know, he's the younger prince, and that was always seen as like the children's room, I suppose. So yeah, Vex can have this, and actually I'm wondering whether I should put the butler's room like here and turn this purple room into Luna's room, because we kind of know that, like that's what I'm thinking. Because we do know that at least in, like, it's not the case, actually I don't know. Sometimes the royals have separate rooms, sometimes they move into the same room, it depends. With the Sikars, the king and queen have a different chamber, they never sleep together. Whereas I think it's different with these guys, they just use Leia's room. I think initially this was supposed to be Uther's room, and then this was Leia's, but then, you know, they ended up always sleeping here because Leia always wanted Uther to be in the same chamber as her. And then this became the children's room, so this was Vex's, and then Vex kind of always kept it, and then Edmund moved into the father's room when he was a bit older. But I think we might move it around. I think Vex can have the blue room. I think that this room can go to his younger brother, so they'll swap. And then I think the downstairs chamber can become Luna's. Look, he's already standing here. He knows. He's like, this is the one. This is going to be Luna's room. That can become Luna's, and then I might arrange this room here to be the butler's room. So I think that will be a workaround. So we've got that, and then I have to figure out what kind of wedding custom I want for Holkane. I have to figure out what the wedding garment for Holkane is going to be. Yeah, wedding garment for Holkane. And then also I'm thinking I feel like wedding garments, wedding makeup, I want each kingdom to have unique, like, wedding garments, wedding makeup. And I'm thinking also, what else? Yeah, so depending on that, we'll have to see what kind of chamber I have to build for the wedding customs and such. So there we go. I've got some work to do. But let me know what you guys think about, well, for one, the eyes that the witches have, whether or not you like them. I'm actually quite happy with the way they look, just as I am very happy and excited about the way the vampire eyes look. Which, you know, I've seen, but you guys should see tomorrow. So there we go. We've got those things done. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.